leave us alone.
When the time comes, he must be trained.
Like you trained his father.
Oh, sick burn.
Ooh, stings.
You still want Kenobi.
All right, Tommy, pause right here. Look at this. Okay, so this is terrifying to me. The creepiest detail of this trailer, the red shelf that is like perfectly lit.
Yes.
Like someone's like creepy basement where they have all these old war collectibles.
Yes.
There's a bunch of lightsabers, each one different, but one of the domed helmets that the younglings wear to blind them when they're training in the temple. This is what they're keeping as trophies. Stuff taken from kids.
Ugh. Yes.
That's so messed up.
Yeah, this is.
I feel like
this is very concerning.
Very concerning. The way I pause this, I feel like one of those TikTokers who has the Incredibles music that. And they're like,
Yes.
Ooh, that's a detail that Erik Voss debunked 2 months ago, but I'm gonna get a bunch of TikTok followers from this.
Yes.
Ooh, Von Darrow. Is that Von Doom cupcakes?
Yeah.
No, it's Von Darrowman cupcakes, but I'm gonna pretend it's Von Doom, and I'm gonna put a screen grab of me like putting it into Google, and then the drop-down search history shows up of me searching for it.
Yes.
Hey, TikTok's a great platform, and everyone on it is doing great work.
Stop ripping us off. Or we're sending the lawyers after you.
What lawyers? There's no lawyers. No lawyer reviewed my contract when I started working from here. It was written on the back of a napkin of a Chuck E. Cheese.
The fact that you have a contract is amazing. All I have is an adult comes and picks me up every day at 10 a.m. and takes me to work.
My contract expired the year Chernobyl leaked. So YouTube didn't even exist yet.
They just guessed. They're like, there'll be a thing. Don't worry. We have a good feeling there'll be.
Pretty good guessing though. The foresight of that contract,
The lawyer that wrote that contract, the one lawyer involved in all of this, had it was very prescient.
Yeah. Well, he was warning us about all kinds of things in
Yes.
September 2001
Yes.
and November 2016.
Yes.
And
he told us to start wearing masks right around 2020. So that was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, I blame him for all of it.
I do too.
Well, welcome back to New Rockstars. A new trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi takes us deeper into the hunt for any Jedi survivors of Order 66. But does that purge include trophies that Darth Vader's Inquisitors keep of the Jedi they have killed? Even the younglings? Kenobi!
Oh my God.
This is Wookieeleaks. It's our weekly reaction to the latest in Star Wars. I'm here with Tommy Bechtold. Tommy,
this is some.
I wasn't here with you guys last week when you first reacted to this trailer. I'm sorry, I would have loved to, but I love watching you guys every day. You guys are doing a great
we
job.
appreciate that, and we loved having you even for a brief moment on our first episode. But I will say, I'm very surprised because there was all the fuss about. Oh, Kenobi's rated 9+ for Disney, like it's going to be like a really childish show. And I'm like, no, this seems very, very dark. They're hunting children down.
No spoilers for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but that's the big conversation around that movie. It's pretty insanely violent. Yeah. I think it is completely safe PG-13, especially when you look at the history of PG-13 movies. I love the clip that's going around of Jurassic World of when Bryce Dallas Howard's assistant gets brutally mauled by at least 3 different dinosaurs, and that scored a PG-13. One of the most horrific things I've seen in a PG-13 movie, for sure. I think kids can handle way more violence.
I agree.
They have to see it on the news every day.
The reality is always going to be more terrifying than anything that Dave Filoni can cook up.
Yeah, or was already there in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
you got to see
fair point.
Hayden Christensen's flesh burn as he screamed, "I hate you." I mean, that's pretty violent.
I hate you! To be fair, every time my parents took me to a beach as a child when my flesh was burning, I shouted that at them. So,
well, for me, I quoted Ruth and Ozark. You're gonna have to effing kill me to get me to the beach. My skin, that would kill me to put me in direct sunlight like that.
I mean, I'm sure eventually it is going to catch up to me. So, indirectly, my parents did murder me at that age. But
indirectly, all of our parents murdered us by bringing us into this world.
That's true.
And
you know
doomed
what?
us on a inevitable fate of death.
I'm going to sick our lawyer on them, Erik. You just reminded me.
Our wizard lawyer. He's so good.
Our fortune teller lawyer. Yes.
All right. Well, this week on Wookieeleaks, we're going to react to this new trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney+, the super creepy detail that we spotted, and talk about Obi-Wan's mugshot, what other Jedi could be hunted down. Just talk about what it means, what it's going to look like, the hunt for the Jedi on this season of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And we say season because we're holding on to hope that we'll get a season 2.
Give us more.
Yeah, living on a prayer.
Give us more. You did that with Moon Knight. You're like, this is a limited series, and then it's like, no.
That's right.
We're going to have to bring this
Just kidding. We got toys we want to sell, baby.
That's right. There's merch to sell, baby. Speaking of.
Our merch partners at Epic Hero Shop have a new latest Obsession shirt inspired by Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness called Shattered Madness. But here on Wookieeleaks, we got a special design coming at the end of the month for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Keep an eye out for that, because when you get that one, Tommy and I are going to be discussing all your shout-outs, calling you out, making fun of you, telling you, hey, you came up with an idea we never could have thought of. So be sure to get that shirt. All right, let's talk about this whole question.
Oh, Eric, I think if there was ever a time for the framing of a question to include this phrase, I'm going to say, what the fet will the hunt for the Jedi look like?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a bigger part of the Kenobi series than a lot of us think. A lot of us think that this is just an excuse to pump out 6 episodes to get more subscribers, to see Ewan and Hayden Christensen fight each other again as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, and that's it. But no. I really do think that the Inquisitors and the way they purge the Jedi, or whichever ones have survived Order 66, is going to be the big part, at least of the first couple episodes of the series. And we see a little new glimpse of that in this latest trailer, the shot on the Fortress Inquisitorius showing the 5th brother and Reva, the 3rd sister, and a new character who looks like the 7th sister. That hasn't been confirmed yet. That's just where I'm theorizing right now. As well as Indira Varma's Imperial Officer character overlooking a map. And when I looked at the Orbesh on this trailer, the planet there is Mapuzo, which is just a really deep cut from the Star Wars role-playing game in the 90s.
Nice.
I think they're just pulling. It's really fun how in Star Wars, they never just pull. It's rare that they create a new planet. I guess we're getting Dayu on this series, which is completely new to Star Wars. But a lot of the times, they'll just put in, like, whenever they have to pull a random planet name, they'll pull one from the Rolodex.
Yeah.
And it will have some weird history already to it.
Beautiful.
So I just love that they did that. But the scarier detail here is that perfectly lit red shelf. The rest of this room, horrible lighting. This shelf is beautifully lit.
Gorgeous.
Showing a row of lightsabers and this domed helmet that looks like the view-blocking helmets worn by the Jedi younglings in the Jedi Temple. Now, lightsabers being kept as trophies, we completely get. I mean, General Grievous loved his dangly ones. But these helmets! It's like, this would be like the Nazis keeping as trophies training wheels that they tear off kids' bikes. It's just so messed up. It's so messed up that you would keep a trophy something that would only fit the head of a child. What is this? It's so messed up. But I think it gives us an insight into how merciless and thorough, cruelly thorough, these Inquisitors are. And I think that's going to be a huge selling point, a huge detail. The main thing we're going to be talking about from these earlier episodes is just what exactly this purge meant for people.
Right.
It wasn't just a quick montage. No. This is something that people had to live with for decades, being hunted down like this. And we talked about the other Jedi survivors who survived Order 66, whose mugshots might appear alongside Obi-Wan's mugshot, which we saw in this episode. There was, we got to translate some Orabesh there. Interestingly, he was wanted for high treason. That seems to be just the general thing all Jedi are accused of, because they're all part of that conspiratorial plot to overthrow the Emperor, right?
Right, of course.
But we have the other Jedi who are out there: Ahsoka Tano, Luminara Unduli, Caleb Doom, Cal Kestis, a number of others. Now, a quick question I want to ask you: do you think Kumail Nanjiani is playing another one of these escaped Jedi? I
really hope so. Just based on that quick, like the way he's dressed and the way he looks in that, I theorized on Breakroom. Either he's playing a Jedi or he's playing a fan of the Jedi, is kind of similar to the way we had the guy in Rogue One. Forgive me for forgetting the character's name, who was like a Jedi fan, like loved the philosophy of the Jedi, but wasn't an actual Jedi.
Oh, was he a fan though? I don't know if I would call him a fan. Are you talking about Donnie Yen's character?
Yeah.
Chirrut Imwe. He was like He was probably more religious than your average Jedi was.
That's
that
true.
guy was like a guardian of the will. He was he was super neck deep in that philosophy.
For sure.
But I know what you mean. Yeah, he could be another one of these, rather than having gone through the Jedi dogma and gotten his degree in it, he could just be someone who was homeschooled, homeschooled on the subject. Yeah, I like that idea. I think, I ultimately think, just Kumail Nanjiani just playing that anxiety and that fear just in that one shot. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know of anyone else in this world right now who would be so afraid than a Jedi. Right. And I think a lot of people just don't picture Kumail Nanjiani. He's more of a comedic.
But he's so ripped now from Eternals. He still is like Jack.
He can play anything.
Yeah.
The guy can do anything. And I think this is a different world of Jedi. This is like, 10 years or so later than the Purge. I think this guy is maybe someone who would have been a kid at the time. Or just like a very young man who is still, might have had a bit of his personality still intact when this purge began, and has just been kind of living on the streets ever since. I would have been amazed that this guy could have survived this long. We know how hard it's been for all the other Jedi. They really, really had to completely go off the grid and completely change their names. So I would love to hear his story. He's also a pretty big star.
Yes.
So even at the time this was cast, he was already booked on Eternals. He was already a pretty big name. He had been in The Big Sick. So I don't know how you get Kumail Nanjiani in the show unless you give him a pretty juicy role. And that doesn't mean it's necessarily a Jedi. I'm just saying it's going to be a pretty big role.
I agree. I'm pulling for Jedi, Eric. I'm gonna go ahead and place my bets that he's gonna end up being a hiding Jedi.
Yeah, I think so too. But on Obi-Wan's mugshot, it reads "Bounty upon capture," which I thought really interesting. Was really interesting because the Empire doesn't necessarily want him dead or alive. We've seen the phrase "dead or alive" on other Star Wars mugshots before, so that term does exist in the Star Wars universe. They say bounty upon capture, which means like you got to capture him and bring him to us, and then we'll pay you, and we'll decide what to do with him. Now, that could also mean he could be frozen in carbonite. That's kind of a way a lot of bounty hunters get around it, of course.
Right.
But why do you think the Empire wants Obi-Wan alive?
Well, I think that we've seen in the movies and TV that the Empire really values a good old-fashioned torture interrogation. And like they're like, there's things in this guy's mind that he's either been taught or experienced that we can use to capture more Jedis and find the rest of the Jedi. So I think that having him alive, and also it's a little personal, right? Like Vader probably wants to be the one that, if someone's going to kill Kenobi, spoiler alert, does work out for him, long in the future, like Vader probably wants it to be him.
Yeah, I think for sure it is personal between Vader and Obi-Wan, absolutely. I think there's kind of a creepy, sub agenda to this of using Obi-Wan Kenobi to learn the other Jedi, as you said.
Yeah.
There was that detail from Rebels where we heard him make that broadcast, kind of warning the other Jedi. I don't know if he would have. No, he would have made that at this point in the timeline, because that was like shortly after Order 66, I think.
Yeah,
We've never seen him make that in live action. I would love to see the way that Ahsoka was a Fulcrum agent during this time, releasing these broadcasts to the scattered members of the rebellion. Like, it'd be fun to see other kind of transmissions that Obi-Wan might have made. That maybe he's been doing this all this time, and that is why the Empire wants him, is they want to use him as like a propaganda instrument to, maybe compel him to say other things that say, I've surrendered Jedi, I've changed my ways, I'm a convert.
Maybe, or like using him as a beacon to call people in and say like, it's okay, don't worry, come on in, it's fine, guys. Water's warm.
Yeah.
Head on down to the Empire.
Water's warm. What's interesting is like when we catch up to the Inquisitors and Rebels, the Grand Inquisitor is using the corpse of Luminara Unduli as that kind of beacon.
Yeah.
Like her Force signature can still be used in a way. So they developed this skill. I don't know if that skill has always been there, if that's something they might learn on this series. Actually, we've developed this way that we can harness the midichlorians that exist still around a Jedi's corpse and use that to lure in other Jedi, to use that kind of that illusion.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something they have yet. I may be wrong about this, but It would seem like if they wanted to use Obi-Wan as that kind of beacon, that they could use his corpse to do that if they had that technology, unless they don't have it yet, which is also very interesting. That may be a reason why they keep all their lightsabers in their helmet, is they're trying, the way that like Darth Momin is attached to a mask, and that's how when Sidious gave it to Vader, and that mask was instrumental with Vader building his castle on Mustafar. Like maybe that's something that the Inquisitors are working on, to try to use this for Jedi, but use it in a way to hunt down the other Jedi, which is a really, really dark, dark thing. I'm sure this is okay for
we're gonna be covering these episodes and be like, oh God, it's like episode 5 of Moon Knight. We're all gonna just be like, first of all, if anyone just needs to talk about it, reach out and
my thinking, Tommy, is that all these shows need to start exposing kids to like real grown-up subjects sooner, because the real world is going to be thrusting that upon them.
Right.
And I think when you try to overly sensitize kids and keep them preciously pure from the real life horrors of the world, they're just going to hit a rude awakening when they're eventually released into that world. Prepare them. Prepare these children. Also, it's a TV show. It's media. It's fine. It's okay. I think there's something arguably more problematic about watching animated Anakin Skywalker in Clone Wars commit a war crime by doing a false surrender to the Separatists just to bombard them when they finally drop their arms. That's messed up. Yeah. That's almost as messed up as some of the violence, the body horror that you see on some of these things. Yeah. Teach kids like what war crimes are, if you're going to also freak them out over blood, because they're going to get a bloody nose at school and you don't want them to faint.
Yeah, and some war crimes at school too, for sure. If it's anything like my school experience, there'll be a few rules of engagement gone wrong.
There's a couple false surrenders that happened on the dodgeball court.
No. Yeah. I'm already out. Psych.
We'll decide when you're out.
I'm the one who throws. I don't know, I just did a random Walter White. Yes. But I agree, Eric. These kids gotta know. These kids gotta learn.
They gotta know. So, I mean, I don't have a son, so or a daughter. Who am I to say what? Talk to me in a few years when I have a kid. I'm gonna be like, don't you talk to my precious baby. Yes. You're ruining my baby. What do I know?
We only let Eric Jr. watch Backyardigans, and even that we censor.
I'm going to be like, this Daniel Tiger is a little too intense for our
there's that one episode where he sells Molly. No, that's not true. I made that up.
Daniel Tiger's giving himself a squeeze nice and slow, just a little too hard.
Whoa.
A little too hard.
Come on, Daniel. Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, meow. All right. We have another thing we want to talk about from this Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer. But I want to quickly give a shout out to The Break Room, because New Rockstar is now broadcasting live every day from our very own break room down in Southern California. You can tune in every weekday afternoon to catch Tommy, as well as Jessica Clement, off-screen producer Zach, off-screen producer Brandon. You guys are doing special stuff on that show, and I'm very much enjoying it. I wish I could be there. It makes me bummed that I'm not living down in Southern California anymore, because I miss all you guys. I would love to be part of that show, but I think you guys are doing great, and I love it, and it's so funny to see all the bits you guys come up with.
We're having a blast.
So I want you guys, all of you, watch it if you are not. It's every weekday around like 3 p.m. Pacific time. 6 p.m. East Coast time. So they're going to be covering all the latest news. They're going to be reacting to the breakdowns I do, pointing out when I'm full of crap. But most importantly, they're going to be interacting with all of you in the chat. You can send in your crazy thoughts and theories, and they'll be responding, which is really fun.
We'll nod and smile, and then we'll alert the authorities. We'll say like, that's a really great point.
And of course,
we're pushing the panic
if you miss it when it airs live. There's no panic buttons. That panic button does not work. No. It was installed in the 80s.
It's just one of those staples. That was easy buttons. You hit it and it just goes, wow, that was easy.
But it says it in kind of a sensual tone, like, ooh.
That was easy.
Ooh, that was easy.
Ooh, your fingers
Why is it wet?
Yeah. Why are your
slimy.
fingers sticky? Oh my God.
It was. Oh, God. Anyway, don't miss the break room airing today. There's going to be an episode here today on New Rockstars.
Yes.
So finish, if it may be on right now as you're watching this video, please finish watching this video and then go over.
Listen, do me a favor and finish this one for the old team money and then check out the next one. Don't stop watching now.
And then see if Tommy acts differently with me than he does with the other three. Yeah. Is he holding himself back with me?
Never.
Is he censoring himself with me? I want to hear about it.
God,
Rat this man out.
The things that we get into. I don't think I can't go any further. They'll take me away.
Well, Tommy, from this Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer and all this footage, we still have not yet seen Kenobi use his lightsaber. He only uses an uncivilized blaster. Right. Obviously, he doesn't want to identify himself as a Jedi. He doesn't want to use the weapon of a Jedi. But I wanted to ask you, what incident, what do you think will finally be the thing that causes Obi-Wan to finally ignite his lightsaber on this series?
So I think that the obvious answer would be one-on-one showdown with Vader. But I actually think that might be a misdirection. I could see there being a unseen, undetected threat towards Luke that Luke has no awareness of as a kid, that Obi-Wan has to very quickly take his lightsaber out and dispatch of someone. And to save Luke's life. Again, Luke completely unaware. Obviously, I know Luke doesn't have any sort of understanding that Obi-Wan is a Jedi until he's much older. But I think it's not going to, I'm sure we're all thinking as soon as he meets up with Vader, he's just going to pull out his lightsaber and go all right, let's do this. But I think it might actually be something more technical. He needs to use his lightsaber. A blaster won't suffice to save Luke, or maybe even another young Jedi or young Force-sensitive kid that can't help themselves.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thought, Tommy, of using it to protect someone. We know from the comics that I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan would use his lightsaber to fight off a crate dragon there in the Tatooine Sands.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. When he fights BK, Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
That might be taking place during the series or shortly after, maybe shortly before. I don't know if we'll see Black Chrysanthemum show up. I think that'd be really fun.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I think on this series, you're right. It's gonna be something to protect someone in some kind of life or death circumstance. I'm wondering, do we think he might kill or engage an Inquisitor? The Inquisitors are such a threat, and the only way you can defeat an Inquisitor is by meeting them lightsaber blade with lightsaber blade. Yeah. It's not like he can use a blaster. It's going to be really hard for him to take down an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And there might be some other Inquisitor who we have not yet seen, someone that Obi-Wan has to just quickly take out his lightsaber to engage. And that's kind of what alerts them. One of our Inquisitors died. That hasn't happened in a few years.
Yeah, that sounds great to me. I would love that. That would be amazing.
I mean, it seems like when, Reva's going to track him down to Daiyu. She has her lightsaber out in the trailer. She's screaming after him.
Right.
I have a feeling that these two are going to engage in some kind of sword combat on Daiyu. I don't want Reva to die on this series. She seems like Moses Ingram is great. I kind of want her to have a long history in the Star Wars canon.
Yeah, for sure.
Until she has her end. Eventually, all Inquisitors are gonna kick the bucket, probably. Right?
But that would, seemingly, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's going to be a huge moment when he finally does. This sounds like something that, Star Wars wouldn't, or this series might not show us until the end of episode 2 or something like that. They're going to delay it because it's going to be such a big moment when he finally does.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's going to be such an important part of his character journey right now. He's hiding himself. He's even changed his name a little bit. Just a little bit, though.
Just tiny.
Tiny
bit.
Just tiny amount.
And not the most important part. He's kept the most identifiable part of the name.
I think when he does, it's going to be a pretty symbolic moment for the character to finally reveal himself once more.
I think it's going to be awesome.
I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait. We're not far away.
We're so close.
Yeah.
We are so close, 18 days away, and it's going to be the first 2 episodes during Star Wars Celebration. I don't know how we're going to handle that week, but it's going to be a blast.
Yes.
We'll leave it there for this episode of Wookieeleaks. Don't forget to check out our many great merch options over at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me at EA Voss. Follow Tommy at Tommy Bechtold. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to Wookieeleaks wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for watching. We have spoken.